maybe the people there working are fine, maybe there's something wrong with the law. There's another asset called Roosevelt Hotel, which is in the privatization, which is an open privatization case since 1996. There may be others. So that's 36 years. Maybe the government doesn't want to privatize this right now, but it's been, they've been trying to privatize this over the years for the last 36 years and have not succeeded. So perhaps the privatization law is not the right law. Is not as allows you to privatize these things. Certainly, I think that the people who work for our state-owned enterprises are good people, very professional people. I've had the occasion of being a director of Pakistan International Airlines, and I thought the management people were really good professional people. I've had the occasion of chairing Swiss Southern Gas Company. I think they were outstanding professionals. So we have to ask ourselves that why is it that a bunch of outstanding professionals, whether in PIA or Sui Gas or Sui Northern Gas or OGDC or whatever, or distribution companies, especially distribution companies, why is it that they're not able to perform? And maybe this is to do with some governance laws. Maybe the way the laws constrict them or restrict them and the way they're governed cause them to not be as efficient as they could be in the private sector. So I think that two things that we need to work on is that to the extent that we want to privatize public enterprises, we need to come up with better laws and better ways to privatize them. And to the extent that we need to improve their governance, I think that it's not just a matter of having very good boards, although that obviously is important. It's not a matter of having very good management. That's obviously very important, and like I said, that the boards and management of these organizations generally are very professional and very first-rate. But it's also a matter of having the right laws that govern these enterprises that allows them to thrive and improve. Which brings me to one other thing that people talk about, and that's the IMF program that we have now signed, and that's all the talk these days, at least in the finance ministry. As most of you know that we were able to sign a staff level agreement with the IMF. That staff level agreement now envisages the IMF program being extended to the whole of next year, and also augment the amount by $1 billion, so that we now expect to get approximately $4 billion over the next 1 year from the IMF. The conditions that the IMF had set, called prior conditions, included some passing of the budget, which we've done. This also included signing of MOUs with the provinces, which we have done. Signing of the MOUs, which we have done. That's also included raising of petroleum tariffs, or PDL, Petroleum Development Levy, which we've done in July, and it obviously there's a table, because the petroleum levy is only 5 rupees on diesel and 10 rupees on petrol, and there is no sales tax, and so there is a schedule according to which we will raise it in the future as well. And since power tariffs had not been changed for the last year and a half, so we had to do an annual rebasing of tariffs, which we've also done a couple of days back, and we've rebased the tariffs for July. We've also approved the rebasing of tariffs for August, and we've also approved the rebasing of tariffs for October. So we've said, and I think there was one other prior condition about interest rates and LTFF, long-term financing facility, and EFS, export financing and scheme, and all of those tariffs have also been, all of those rates have also been raised. So we've met the prior conditions by the IMF to be able to get hopefully the first tranche whenever their board meeting takes place. Unfortunately, because of the board holidays, the board meeting is in the later part of August, although I would hoping that it would be in the earlier part of August. There's been some talk about corruption laws, and this is why the IMF thing came to my mind, about some anti-corruption laws. And in fact, although it's not a prior action, it is a structural benchmark. I think the IMF did talk about anti-corruption laws, and they've been talking about this since the fifth review, which I think was in 2020. And there were some disagreements, but this time I was very enthusiastic about this, and I actually quickly agreed to this, except that I wanted to add two other things. The benchmark was about forming a team that would do a diagnostic analysis of anti-corruption laws in Pakistan. What I really added, the effectiveness of anti-corruption laws in Pakistan. What I added was